Hello there and welcome back into the Direct Selling Accelerator podcast. My name is Sam and I'm going to do a super quick power episode for you today on 10 things that could land you in Facebook jail. This has been the topic of the moment, and with the rise up of professional profiles, we have been seeing people entering into either Facebook jail or having their accounts deleted entirely, left, right, and center. And I just want to, part of the way that we get around this stuff is to be aware. So I wanted to make you aware today of what are some of the things that Facebook's looking for. And specifically, you've got to remember that landing in Facebook jail is generally not the result of a human glossing over your account and deciding that you've done something wrong. It's usually a result of the artificial intelligence in the background of Facebook, which is bots, programs picking up on certain captions, phrases, words, etc., that they are looking for that may land you in jail. And there are some things to be aware of here. Often you will get flagged before you get jailed or have your page deleted, but you generally don't get a warning. Facebook's attitude when it comes to following its rules is this. If you have an account with Facebook, if you have signed up, by default, you have agreed to its rules of use, its terms of service. If you choose not to, be aware of what they are and therefore follow them. You are the one that is at fault, and they don't have to warn you before they delete your account or flag you or ban you or any of the following. So it is best that you be made aware of what to look for. So I'm going to give you 10 things right now to help you be more aware of what is going on Facebook and how to avoid being put in Facebook jail. So let's dive on in. So let's have a quick look. We're going to gloss through these super quickly. I'm not going to hover on any of them, but I want to make you very aware. So the very first one is Facebook encourages more user-generated content, less shared content. So when we are actively sharing, posting link, video, spamming, and we are not creating any of our own unique content, this may flag Facebook. The reason being is it doesn't want a ton of recycled content. It wants a platform with good quality, unique content. And so if you're not playing the game, then you may end up in a bit of strife. Now, this doesn't mean that all of these things I'm going through right now are going to get you flagged or in trouble. But if you are doing a combination of these things, or you dramatically change the way you're using Facebook and you get picked up for one or more of these things, you may find that your account goes into a flag mode where it goes through some checks. So to avoid this, one of the best things to do is make sure that number one, you're prioritizing content you create. You are prioritizing unique content. Now, not only will this help you avoid jail, but you'll also get a better result. So I really encourage you to be doing more UGC, user-generated content. The next one is be careful with tagging. Facebook has really clamped down on people incorrectly tagging people. What it's had happen in the past is in order to get people's attention on a page, they go and tag in a ton of friends, or they bait people into tagging friends on a post, for example, to win a competition. We've all seen the posts that say tag and share to win. Guys, this goes very much against Facebook's community standards. Why? Because you are baiting people to tag others in a post they have nothing to do with. So what you got to be very careful of is tagging people in images that they are not in posts that have nothing to do with them. If you are caught doing this, this may very well get you into strife. And it may also get you reported by the person you've tagged if they're not happy to be tagged in the post too. So reporting is another thing we've got to be mindful of. So be very careful of tagging. If it's genuine, fine, but if it's not genuine, or you're encouraging people or baiting them to tag people in posts that person may not be involved in or aware of or want to be tagged in, be careful because it may get you into strife. That's number 2. Number 3 is make your messages personal. What I mean by this is if you copy and paste and send the same message to 40 different people, you will potentially get flagged in the system. So personalize your messages, use their name. If you are changing every message to make it relevant for every person, you are more likely to be able to get a ton of messages through each day. And messaging is a very powerful part of the direct selling industry. So definitely we want to be sending private messages every day to people and nurturing those relationships. But be very careful not to appear as spammy. And this brings me to the next one. Don't behave like a sneaky spammer. I hate it when I get a message that was sent to me that I know was sent to a dozen other people at the same time. Aside from the fact it doesn't make me feel good about the person, it doesn't get your result, and it, again, may get you picked up. So messages, be very careful of. But the other one, when it comes to being a spammer, is don't friend request or private message people you don't have a genuine relationship with. Aside from the fact that, again, it's going to put that person offside, you will get picked up. So when it comes to friending people, make sure you've got a genuine connection. It doesn't have to be a big connection, but make sure that you know the person. Don't just go randomly sending friend requests to people that you found in a group that might contain some of your ideal customers. As tempting as that may seem, it's likely to be short-term gain for a lot of long-term pain. So definitely don't behave like a sneaky spammer. Build genuine relationships, guys. I'm a very big believer in short-term, work hard at it, long term, much more benefit in it for you. So build those genuine relationships. Don't be a sneaky spammer. The next one is regarding groups. Don't add people to groups without their permission. This is important too. You may get reported by someone for doing this, but more importantly, if you do this and people jump out, so if people don't accept the request, and this happens enough times, you may find yourself again in hot water. So I really think, guys, that the best thing that you can be doing to grow your group is, again, genuinely build those relationships. It takes a little bit longer, but in the long run, you're going to be building a much more sustainable business and community as well. So definitely don't go bulk adding people to groups and expect it to work in your favor. You will probably find it works more so against you than helps you. So there's that one. The next one is a really big one, and it was kind of the purpose of this podcast episode, but I really believe that we all have a responsibility to know how Facebook works. So just remember, jump in and check its community standards, say every 3 to 6 months. They don't dramatically change, but it will give you a good idea of what Facebook is looking for. There's been a huge focus on the protection of data, that's people's private information, on securing profiles and people's information, and making sure that people aren't misusing Facebook by mistreating its users. It is going to protect the users. So if in any way it feels that you threaten that, then that's where you can end up in Facebook jail. So make sure that you know how Facebook works. For example, every person should only have one Facebook personal account. This means I cannot have an account that is Sam Hind and Sam Hind 2 or Sam Hind's business. And this brings me to number 2, which is business pages need to be business pages. You cannot use a personal profile as a business page. Again, this is where we see most people getting into hot water. If you are using a personal profile to sell product, service, or business opportunity, you are in direct breach of Facebook's community standards. And I don't care what anybody says. Even if it wasn't against Facebook's community standards, I really don't believe your family and friends that have been your friend, that have connected with you personally, want the business rammed down their throats. So whilst you can definitely share your business journey, your product journey, what you're getting up to with them, it isn't the place to actively sell, actively promote as though you are a business using a personal profile. That is probably one of the biggest things that Facebook is clamping down on right now. So yes, you can share your journey. Yes, you can share your favorite products. Yes, you can share what you get up to in your business as long as you are attached to it. And it is your journey, not here's my product, here's a business you can join, sell, sell, sell. So do be very, very careful of that one. The next one is be careful what you say, even in Messenger. This is a tough one because I have had a number of people reach out to me of recent times saying, hey, I just had my Facebook page flagged or even shut down because I said something questionable in Messenger as a joke and it got picked up. Now, guys, remember Facebook is watching everything. Its priority is to protect the platform, which means it's also protecting the users. If there is anything that it deems as being a threat to that, then you are considered that threat. So be very, very careful about what you say, even if it's in jest. They are reading what you are putting in messages. Remember, you're still using the platform. And just also be careful to avoid sensitive topics. For example, right around the time of COVID, there was a huge amount of emphasis put on mental health. So Facebook was flagging certain types of posts with certain phrases in them. Anything that included, the words COVID-19 or vaccination went through a flagging process, meaning that it was assessed by bots. Some things went through, other things didn't. Other things got picked up later on down the track. So it's really advisable if there is a sensitive topic, even if you don't know what it's looking for, and you can find these sensitive topics out pretty easily by checking community standards. Facebook's really clear about what things it doesn't want you to talk about. So, anything drug related, etc. Sex related, of course, all of these things will get you flagged if you are talking about these things actively and they are in fact sensitive topics deemed by Facebook. So, be very mindful. Whilst it may seem like you're going to get a bit of attention if you get a bit controversial, sometimes it's really not worth it. And I really am of the opinion that people will remember how you made them feel, but not necessarily what you said. So even though you get attention, it might get a few viewers, it might get a few interactions, it may not necessarily mean that you get trusting people that are going to buy from you now. So attention isn't always good attention. So be very careful of that. There's a few drama queens out there. I know probably none listening to this podcast right now. Otherwise, I just ruffled a few feathers. But I'm just going to remind you to please be mindful of what sensitive topics you do talk about. And I would just advise you, if it's sensitive, maybe just let it go. Don't put it on Facebook. Be very careful about that. And complaining comes up there as well. Again, Facebook's got a real focus right now on positive, healthy conversation. So where you get the people that are doing the big dramatic complaining posts all of the time, be very careful because, again, whilst that gets attention, it's not necessarily good attention and it may very well get you flagged. Aside from the fact, if you rub one person up the wrong way and they report you, you will go through a process where your post or your profile gets assessed. The next one is you can overpost. If you are posting too many times a day, that may get you put into spam jail until Facebook decides you are allowed to be released. So they have said that 5 to 6 posts a day maximum is all you should be doing. And honestly, really the recommended number of times a day is 1 to 2. 1 to 2 really good quality posts is all you ever need. Just because you post more doesn't mean you're going to get people's attention. In fact, you may find that the very opposite happens. Likewise, we have seen an increase in flagging where people dramatically change their behavior. So what I mean by this is when they go from posting absolutely nothing to posting 3 to 4 times a day, that can also get you into a bit of hot water. Even if you're doing the right thing, it will flag you as a big change, a dramatic change in behavior, which will have you put through a little assessment process to make sure that you haven't, for example, been hacked or something else is going on. So just be very mindful. If you do change your behavior, do it slowly and appropriately. Don't just jump straight in and go, great, I am now going to go from nothing to everything. And really, I think we can definitely overpost. So please avoid posting 5 to 6 times a day, definitely too much. My advice for you is if you want to post that much, do 1 or 2 good quality posts on your main feed, put the rest in your stories. It's a perfect place for it. Be strategic about what you put on your main feed. And don't waste your time because you will be wasting your time if you're posting that much, I hazard a guess. The last one, before I just give you a really good hot tip here, is don't include non-compliant brand names in your page name. Now, this relates more so to business pages, but definitely personal profiles if you are already in breach of one of Facebook's rules, which is what I said earlier, and you're using your personal profile for business. So what you cannot do is use a trademarked name in your page or profile. So where this comes about, and we get this a lot in direct selling, is if you belong to a certain company or you've got a business with a certain company and you post or you create a page, with a name, using the name of that company, you've got to make sure that the way you use it is compliant with their social media policy, because that business does have the right, number one, to report you for infiltrating a brand. But also you may find, and I see this happen a lot, is Facebook automatically flags or reports you for this. You can also get reported by other distributors too who get a little bee in their bonnet. So don't jump on in and do something like saying, the such and such official page when it is in fact not the such and such official page. Or, Sam Hind, official brand, insert brand name here, consultant. You've got to make sure that you know how you label your business page or personal profile if you are using the company name. Now, when I said that just then, I probably gave the impression that you can do this in your personal profile. Don't. Just use your name in your personal profile, to be clear. But if you're going to do it on your business page, you're going to insert the brand name. Just make sure you know what their compliance is, because it is their protected trademarked brand name, and you've got to be very careful of that. You do not want to get flagged for infiltrating a brand or trying to pretend to be a brand that you are not. Now, just as I wrap this up, that was a lot, rapid fire here. But the very last thing I want to mention is one of the most important things that you can do right here, right now, and that is this. Protect your business page and group. So the best way to do this is, just in case anything were to ever happen to your personal profile, I encourage you to add another administrator to your business page. This is someone that has equal rights to you on your business page who is not you, but make sure it is someone you really, really trust. So a really close friend or a family member is ideal. This doesn't have to be someone that does anything on the business page, but is simply an admin, so that in the instance where you lose or get flagged or have your personal profile blocked, somebody else has access to that page so that you don't lose it. If you are the only person with administrative access and something happens to your personal profile, the business page goes with it. Same thing with your group. Add someone else as a moderator that has equal rights to you, but be very careful to make this someone you trust, because when they have equal rights, they've also got the ability to boot you out of your own group or page. So be very careful of that. But very important thing to do, back it up with a secondary person, just so that you are nice and safe there, and make sure that if anything happens to that person's personal profile, you remove them straight away as well. It goes both ways. So guys, that was a rapid fire session if ever we've done one. Hopefully that's helpful for you, and it's given you a few hot tips on how to avoid Facebook jail, because I don't want to get any more of those phone calls saying, I've lost my personal profile. What do I do? Just remember, your business page and your groups are financial assets to your business. They're worth money to you. So please protect them. Be very careful. And remember, if you are using any social media platform, not just Facebook and Instagram, the second you sign up to them, you agree by default to follow their community standards and terms of use. So it is in your best interest to be well versed on what those are. And please don't for a moment think that beating them is a good idea. So guys, that's it from me. Thanks for joining our podcast again this week. It's been awesome, and we'll see you again next week. Bye for now. Thank you for joining us in this episode of the Direct Selling Accelerator podcast. If you love listening and you found that this was helpful for your direct selling business, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also check out the recommended video that's popped up on your screen right here. I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye for now.